Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
I will always feel something. I will always feel.
Hello. Y'all haven't seen me in a minute or two or three or days. Welcome back to Lunchin with Lisa season 2. We are so excited. I feel like we've never even done this before. I've missed everyone. Thank you so much for hanging in there, joining back in. I know sometimes you can lose some people when you go take a break, but it was important that my team get some rest and I get some rest and come back with some great guests, new guests. Some will be old guests, some will be new because we're going to bring them back. But we have an exciting evening tonight. We're going to do things a little different. So as we started the next season, we decided to change the platform up just a little bit. You got to just do a little something different. So as y'all can see, my background is painted. So I have like a blue background now, thanks to my husband, LP Painting and Drywall. He hooked me up. So I'm excited about that, just to make it a little fun, but I still got my crafts and stuff going on. And we want to first welcome our guests in, but before we do that, I wanted to just share a couple of projects I have coming up and welcome you all in. So again, welcome back to the second season of Lunchin with Lisa. I want to let you all know that there's, I've been working on a film called Old School Rollers. And for some of you who know me, you know that I actually met my husband in the skating rink 32 years ago. So it was kind of cool to do a film and be part of a film that actually is, you know, in a skating rink, and actually the skating rinks that we skated in and met in. So that's kind of cool. The movie comes out on August the 28th. They have 2 releases coming out to see it. And next week, we're going to bring them on to the show, the producer and co-producer, and give away some tickets to the release so y'all can check it out, because y'all seen some posts with me filming. I'm no actress, but I had a ball and I'm excited to be a part of the film. Now I want to actually welcome our guest on. So before I read a little bit about who he is, I want to tell you how we came to meet. Actually in the middle of COVID. He has a platform as well where he brings guests on in the middle of COVID around Christmas time. You know, it's my favorite time of year. And it was the last show that I did for the season, I believe, for the Christmas season, before I just kind of tuned out and did my own thing. So we met. I enjoyed his show tremendously. Great lineup, and try to support all of his shows, you know, since then. It's been great. So we have a little surprise for him in a minute, but I'm going to tell you who we have with us tonight first, and then we're going to show him how we have a little surprise for him. So Donnie B got the beats. Okay, so music producer, recording artist, entertainer, host of The Beat with Donnie B Got the Beats, which I was on. It's an awesome show. Co-host of Two Flew West with Nicholas Baker. Donnie B Got the Beats, formerly Donnie B LaFleur, is a Washingtonian. So I didn't share that, but he is from Washington, D.C. Yay! So we got a homeboy here. So Washington, D.C. native that moved to Los Angeles for the opportunity to perform on a large entertainment stage, influenced by legendary talents such as Quincy Jones, Timberland, DJ Premier, Babyface, John Williams, and Hans Zimmer. He can't be easy pigeonholed. He has long been a rapper with catchy lyrical content and a seemingly endless swagger. With his later works, including the last single, Fine by Me, he's coming into his own as a credible vocal threat. One fan said it's music from the heart that hits you right between the ears. I like that. A consistent entertainer and producer these past 10 years, Donnie has released 12 singles and an album, D-Day, released in 2011, to his credit, and his latest project being an EP called Cruel Summer 2019, with 6 original songs that have a major label production sound. He has performed in concert with such music stars as Snoop Dogg, The Game, and Tank, and has been performing at several festivals, nightclubs, and events. And now he is here with Luncheon with Lisa. I am so honored to have you here with us. Welcome to Luncheon with Lisa, Donnie. I'm glad to have you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much. And first of all, you are the #1 supporter of the beat. Like
Yay!
every show you was on there. You know what I'm saying? Like I so much love and respect for you, man. Definitely your platform and everything that you've accomplished so far. I know the sky's the limit, man. So I'm just elated to be here, man. And thank you.
Thank you for being here. I'm gonna show you how much I enjoy being on your platform. So what we decided to do was we decided to flip the script on Donnie B Got the Beats. So what does that mean? I enjoyed your platform, how you had everything set up. So I decided that what you did to me as a guest, I'm going to do to you.
Okay.
So the first topic that we're going to talk about, and that's the surprise. I love the way you set this up. So we're going to do this to you because I thought it was awesome, a good way to get to know people and just know them as individuals, not all the bio stuff.
Right.
So the first question is, who is Donnie B Got the Beats? And we're not talking about the bio Donnie. We talking about who is Donnie that's from DC.
Let's think about this for a second. Donnie B Got the Beats, man. I am a handful, and anybody that knows me will say that I'm a handful, man. Like overly ambitious. Some would say to a fault. I haven't met that fault yet, but we'll get there, I guess, at some point in time. High idealist with a pretty decent IQ. I wish my IQ was about as high as my ambitions were. Jokester. I like engaging with people. I'm a customer service person at heart, man. All of my previous jobs were customer service related, so I engage with people, man. And performer. I'm in my you see I'm getting my little silver back, a silver front there.
It's wisdom.
Yeah, thank you. I'm
Mine is hidden right up in here.
I like how you put your words together.
That's right.
I don't perform as much as I used to, but I'm working on something now that's going to get me back to that. I'm actually working on a new release album called Brasquiat. Love it. Okay. So just performer, recording artist, music producer. I've been producing music since I was 12 years old. Come from a musical family. My dad was a music producer and a bassist. Played with the Crown Heights Affair. Did some work with Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds back in the day. So I come from a good pedigree of music. And as far as everything else, like I said, I'm just a straightforward person, man, a straight shooter. Not everybody can appreciate it, but the people that do, you either love or hate me. You know what I mean? And I rather just keep it real. I'm a girl dad and a boy dad as well too. So I love my 3 bobbins, and they keep me honest, man, and keep me focused, man, and I try to keep them on the right path. So that's who Donnie B Got the Beats is.
That's right. I love it. And from the moment that I came on your show, I just really felt welcomed at home. So I can attest to that from knowing you. We haven't met in person, but I mean I can attest to it. The energy was great. It was just I was comfortable. And we just had a good conversation. Never mind the fact that you're from Washington, D.C., which was, definitely a hook, because it was like, oh, he's from Washington, D.C. Okay. Yeah. And you took D.C. to L.A., and I like the way you balance it. So that comes into our next topic.
Okay.
So I'm going to drink my tea when I ask this question. Okay. So what about Washington, D.C.? Tell us the Donnie that was up here in D.C.
Before there was DMV West. Donnie, the Donnie in DC was, looking back in the retrospect, I mean, that Donnie was, he was a I'm sorry, he was a butthole. Like, I really just didn't really. I worked really hard, had the same ambition, same drive. I got after it, man. Like I hit the ground running. Every open mic I was there. Got to share the stage with a lot of legendary talent in the DMV area now. Recorded with started out with Nitty Records and Top Flight, Thug Life, and shout out to the fam, by the way. So I was around when doing my thing when it wasn't cool to be a rapper. People's
Right.
a rapper, like we a go town. You know what I mean? So to be able to see it grow and sprout legs, it's like again, like I'm a girl dad. You know what I mean? Like to see it fully formed and functional and operating on its own, it's amazing. But really, if not nothing else, I'm a student. I'm a student always. I'm always learning. I'm always trying to figure out how can I trick the system? How can I make it? How can I flip this? And then above all else, how can I open the doors up for everybody else?
Absolutely.
And so that's who I was borderline arrogant, borderline narcissistic, because I believed that was the play. But college educated with the Hampton University. Shout out my HIU.
Okay, I'll let you do a little bit to Hampton. I guess a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? So death of Bud Love for the DMV area, but it was time for me to move on. I put in 20 strong years, behind the scenes and in front, trying to be on stage, and performed at the University of Maryland for the Terrapins, and did shows in New York, North Carolina, Miami, Chicago. Put together my own tour. Who does that? Music producer, videographer, graphic designer. I tried to run the gambit because entertainment is my life. I'm just I'm an artistic type person. So anyway, keeping it short and truncated. That's who I was when I was in DC. Right.
So because I know coming from DC too, it's a lot to do here. Good and bad sometimes, but I mean it's what rears us to do what we do now. So what do you miss about being in DC?
Man, everything.
Okay.
I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize. But
no. I get. I think I did the same thing to you when I came on your show.
I feel so confident about my answer. I miss the DMV, man. I really do. Unfortunately, just I have a very big sensitivity to emotional content. And let's face it, the East Coasters, like they just like and I'm just like, no, whoa, bro, like
right.
I think in my head, like, I got all this meat up here, like, what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, I can't rock with that. You know what I mean? And I decided to take my time as West, and that's that. Now, again, with DC, it's like I miss the culture, man. I miss the culture. I'm actually writing a script too with the team that I'm involved with called the Wright Brothers, and we're writing a series kind of like Snowfall for LA, but it's for DC, called Mumbo Sauce. And
okay.
It chronicles what it's like to grow up in DC during the rise of the go-go era.
That's exciting.
Because
when I brought up roller skating, I was thinking, okay, because that was part of what we did. And then when you said Mumbo Sauce, it's like, yeah, that's just all of that's DC. I mean, yeah, there are other places. Atlanta has skate, but their skating is different. Exactly. So I'm with all of that. So that leads us into the next one, because you said you had to move on from DC and you went over to LA. So we're gonna kind of do a little something with, who does it best? Not saying we're gonna put anybody on blast, but I'm sure there's some, pull some good stuff from LA when you made the transition. You shared some of the stuff with DC, but who does it best in what, music, film, whatever? What's your take?
Well, it really would depend on what it is. You know what I mean? Like music wise, obviously I got a nod towards LA as far as by way of mainstream views, sales, so forth and so on. As far as having an identity, LA, you know what I mean? With regard to film, Hollywood. You know what I mean? 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 Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I was around in DC when BET was still there. You know what I mean? I
That's
remember
right.
227 was a show that was about a family from DC in
That's
the
right.
hood. You know
That's
what I mean?
right.
So again, I a lot of stuff I would have to lean towards LA just because structurally it's LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I call it the real world. That's what
Okay.
I thought. So I'm saying like LA is the real world. Everything else is like whatever. And I don't mean that in a negative way when I say that. But
Right.
with DC, the thing I miss the most, I swear on everything, it's just the genuineness of the culture, man. Like it's so much about the culture. I jokingly call DC Wakanda. Like it's that little tucked in little joint away, like it's hidden in the mountains or whatever.
That's
But when you
right.
get there, it's technologically advanced. Like the people it's super intelligent and they got their own little swag, and you know what I mean. And so when I come on to Wakanda, and I gotta come back because my brother's getting married soon. It's like I'm always kind of alert, like yo, what's popping out here, man? You know what I
Right.
mean? So I miss the culture, if not nothing else. I miss the people. I miss my family because like all my family's still over there. I
Yeah.
miss my friends and yeah. Oh, and
It's hard when you from DC and you move away, because I moved to Atlanta to go to Spelman, but I still couldn't get DC out of my mind. It's like I always got to go back home. So when the opportunity came back, I was like, I need to get back home.
right.
It's just kind of, I think it's if you're raised there and you really embraced DC, Maryland, Virginia, the DMV, so to speak, then you always have to go back.
Right.
You got to go back and get a little taste. I know when I would come back, they said, "Oh, you talking so country?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." I'm from DC, So,
right.
so I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break and we're going to come back because we're not finished with the questions. We ain't stumped you yet. So we coming back in just a minute.
All right. Commercial breaks.
Oh, welcome back. And I want to let you all know that was the Beauty of Beast unveiled that and that was actually a surprise to Victoria if she's still on. Because welcome, and dear Yvette, she also said welcome back. Thank you all so much. But she probably didn't know I was going to show her commercial. But DSM Media, who she caught it. DSM Media actually helped her with her video and her flyer and things. But she has a great seminar coming up. And it really is kind of discovering who you really are and how you're showing up in the world. Are you really showing up in the beauty in you or the beast in you? And sometimes we actually get it confused. So Victoria is going to help us maneuver through that. I am registered, so I'm hoping everybody will check out her event. We are sponsors, DSM Media, Shariva Smith and I, so, DSM Media. So I'm excited about it, and I want everybody to go register. Not now, watch the show, and then afterwards, go register. But congratulations on what you're doing, Victoria. And y'all please share. You are so welcome. So we're going to get back to some questions. And that's not the last surprise. So we had one for Donnie. Victoria is a huge supporter. So I knew she was going to love that surprise, but we got one more coming up for somebody they don't know. But for now, we're going to, because I love surprises. But now we're going to talk about the music industry, because we listed a whole lot of you just all embedded into music, whether it's on stage, behind stage, whatever. So how did you get there?
It's a very simple question, but it has a lot of things with it. But I'll keep it as short as possible. First of all, I got there. My dad was a music producer and a bassist, as I said in the intro. He's the doing it in the park, doing it at the
Mm.
dock, do. That's my dad. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay.
Um, it was natural. I remember I don't know, I think I was like 4 or 5 years old, and he was like, he wheeled out a keyboard. It was like, you got to sit there and play that every Saturday. And, you
Right.
know, uh, but fourth grade, I picked up a trumpet, learned that in school. Played that up until high school. Then picked up a sousaphone, trombone. I was fascinated with the drums, the marching band drums. So I was playing around with that. I basically did spot watch, like when somebody was out, I don't know, figure it out. And then went to Hampton. I was supposed to play the drums. And the day that I was supposed to pick out my instrument, I got dared by a sousaphone player. Like, you don't know what you're doing. So I played sousaphone my entire career at Hampton.
Wow.
Uh, but the whole time while from high school all the way up, in the background, I was working on with shout out my brother Nicholas Baker. We in the back room, we was writing rhymes and coming up with beats in the back room when we, in between classes and stuff like that. We used to skip classes or don't tell nobody
Right.
to write. And then the next thing you know, we just started going to record studios. It was a joint right there on Lanham Seabrook Road. Shout out to Vince. If anybody know Vince's studio in Seabrook, that was
Yes.
yeah.
There was a skating rink over there too that we still go to.
Wheel a wow. The wheel
Yes.
wow. Yeah. I got you. But yeah, I used to live right there. So I used to just walk to it, and we just started recording out of there, and it became a thing. And I was a year, I graduated the year before Baker did. And I went to Hampton, and then Baker followed me down there the next year. Well, he didn't follow me. That's you know what I mean.
Right.
So he went to Hampton too, and then next thing you know, they had a studio, like the major had a record studio on campus. Why they do that? And so we just started, late night sessions, and just started really recording and then building it. And then when I got back to DC, worked at not Night Flight, Horizon Sound Studios in Capitol Heights. That was a pillar of the Capitol Heights community that was affiliated with the record labels. Shout out to Paul, shout out to John Gordon, and got to work under them. That's when I got to meet Maya and Mary J. Blige and Drew Hill, Rough Ends, Black Butterfly. Like, it was just a lot of people that came through that studio,
Right,
which taught me a lot. And then from there, it was like, I know I want to do this, and I really just started to make it happen. And my ear was always toward it. And so, how did I get in music? How did I get there? Honestly, I didn't have a design. I just followed where the winds took me, and and I'm here now. So
yes, that's when you've been given a gift. You don't know, you can't explain it. It's just, it was gonna happen. So sometimes we don't even know how we got where we are. It was just in us, and it was a matter of time, because people laugh at me, and I've always had a love of music. And sometimes people don't even think about the things that they did as kids that led them to where, what they're doing now. Even with music, even now with music, I remember all the words from all of the, Sugar Hill Gang, all that stuff. To this day, you can't play that song without me just going ham. But I mean, I loved like music. I tried out for chorus, and made PG County chorus. Believe it or not, I don't know what happened to the singing voice, but I did make it. It's gone now though. It's gone.
We gonna get it back. We gonna get it back.
Like, I ain't even gonna try. Nobody's gonna believe me, and yeah. And even with instruments, I all through elementary school, I played the violin. Who would have thought? But it was probably a love of music that just made you touch on a little of everything. So I get it that first you're kind of like, and then once you did it, because that was your lead in, you ain't know it, but that's what was happening.
Right.
I love it. I love it. So, last question we have before we get into some other things is what is Donnie B Got the Beats up to now?
Thank you. What I can say is, So obviously I'm a host of the Beat. That's how I met you, and it was an awesome interview. So the Beat, I'm looking for talent that's basically meant to spotlight people who are movers and shakers in the business, man. People that maybe not everybody knows, but you need to know this person right here because they, if not anything else, they could be like you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the host of the Beat, co-hosting Two Flew West with Nicholas Baker. And that is more of a topical day-to-day. We want to spotlight everybody and anything that's moving and shaking, that's doing the things. That's the give you flowers business. You know what I mean? For the things that you do. I'm developing, as I said earlier, Mumbo Sauce. I'm also currently pitching projects to Warner Media, as well as Warner Media is HBO, as well as Disney, as well as a couple other major labels, TV series. I got one called Views. I got another one called Zoltar that I'm doing with my writing team. So just trying to pitch concepts to see if we can get them placed, to get them moved. I am developing two other podcasts, video shows. One called Really, which is one that basically is a conversation about current film and TV show releases and so forth and so on. The other one is called The Lowdown, which is more of a like the skit on Saturday Night Live, the Weekend Report. With my sister. Shout out to Ruthie Renee. That's gonna be my co-host going there. That's gonna just kind of make fun of all of the news that we got there out in the world.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. And then we have like I said, I'm working on so I'm finishing up the Cruel Summer EP. It took 2 years to do, but I'm finishing that. But I'm immediately directing my attention to the album that I'm working on called Basquiat, which is the take on Basquiat, because Basquiat was a true artist that people found posthumously and really appreciated posthumously. I think appreciated is the better word. And just kind of want to revisit my roots as far as what I feel the game is missing in music and my hip hop roots. And this is me in the background, by the way. A return to that. And that's what I can.
I love the fact that that's you behind you.
Well, I gotta support myself, you know.
That's right. Look, and I'm mad at y'all because I was looking up and said, okay, so because it gets a little cold in here. Why y'all didn't tell me I had my Christmas blanket up on the back of my chair? I know they was like, this room is really busy, but this Christmas blanket right here is to keep me warm. So y'all excuse the Christmas blanket.
It was ambiance, okay?
Right. I was like, wow, okay, I'm bringing Christmas in already, but that's my season, so let's just bring it on in there.
She's trying to say around my head. I know my head big, Sharila. Thank you.
No.
There you go.
But look, I thought that it was kind of cool, and on your show that you had, for instance, some artists that came on that had some music. You would play their music. So for all you people who know someone who's trying to get their music out there, whatever, this was such a cool thing you did. I don't know how you reach out to people to come on, but you took an artist and his music, and you had several people on the show, and they kind of
music review.
Reviewed it and told them where, told them from your perspective what was good, what they needed work on, it was all music language, so I was lost on some of it. I was just like, okay, I think I know what they're saying, but I enjoyed that. And I liked it because it was so authentic. And you all weren't afraid to say, okay, work on this. And the fact that the artist was there for that. So it wasn't like that they were in their feelings or whatever. I thought that was amazing. And I was like, man, they need to keep doing stuff like that. Cause that's really, that's really interesting. Cause I get people that may inbox me and say, hey, I got some music or whatever. I'm not in the music field. Right. I might say, oh, I like it. So anything that Lunchin with Lisa can to do to help, I like to highlight people, but that particular thing that you all did with the artist I loved it. I thought it was like, okay, so if I could sing and I had a record, I would be like, let me go in there so y'all can tell me what I need to do to get this right. But it was amazing how you all were just working together and everybody had their own little feel about it. Like, yeah, I like that. Okay, I like the beat. And I was chiming in. But
Yeah, you
I
were.
enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it. So, I wish you all the best in everything that you're doing. I know you will succeed, because you've been doing some wonderful things, and you stay busy just like I do. And Sharifa behind the scenes, I know she was saying I was working. Yeah, we stay busy, but we love what we do. Um, so now we're going to move into what I'm wondering if maybe we do have some current events we're coming up on, but before we do that, why don't we run another commercial, and then we're gonna come back and talk about some current events. We have another new segment we're doing that we're going to open up with Donnie. So we will be right back.
I'm with it.
So, for you all who don't know, Victoria does know, actually several people do. We have DSM Media, which is me and Sharifa. We teamed up to create flyers, videos, all kinds of, we actually do background work for people who are having shows just like this. So DSM Media is, we're live and kicking. And what's exciting, we will share with you. So please check us out. Is we actually have kind of, I don't know what you call it, a little mini thing going on with shows. So we actually have a lineup of shows. So on Wednesday we have Upfront Mind, Body, Soul with host Michelle B. Hammond. And then on Thursdays we have Lunchin with Lisa. And then on Fridays we just picked up a new show by her name is Tamika Joy. And I forgot, I'm trying to look for what the name of her show was, but she's going to be coming on Fridays. So Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 7 to 8, just 1 hour in the evening. You all can come and join these shows, support these ladies, bringing on guests. Tamika Joy is an artist in music as well, Donnie, and she's bringing on young people. And it's all about music and the industry and all kinds of stuff. So we're excited that all of our platforms are different, but they actually, complement each other, and DSM Media is behind that. So y'all check us out. We trying to do our little mini thing back here. So yeah, check us out.
Nah, you working.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, and we having some fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into some current events. And for a little while, we're going to talk about what's going on in the world. And what I decided that our topic of choice would be,
Let's go.
This day
Let's go.
is, we wanted, so let me give you a background on this new segment.
Okay.
So if you all remember when Lunchin with Lisa started and, my creative mind, I have a lunchbox.
Girl, that's fire.
Right. For Lunchin with Lisa. So we decided that for the season 2, we wanted to invite our guests to email me, and we share my email address where people can email about situations they have going on, relationships, family, whatever, or topics of discussion like what we're going to talk about tonight. You email them into us. We're going to put them on a little piece of paper. We're going to throw them into the lunchbox. And every week we're going to dig in here and pull out a topic, and whoever my guest happens to be, we have to talk about it. We got to get real with it and talk about it on the fly. I don't want you to prepare for every question and all that kind of stuff. It's real organic with me over here too. And a lot of the shows that DSM Media does, Michelle Hammond's show, very organic. I just love that, on the spot kind of energy. So That's what this lunchbox is all about. So every time you see this lunchbox, we're about to talk about some stuff. And what we're going to talk about is stuff that people are lunching about. Okay. If y'all remember, I might be aging myself, but we used to call people lunchboxes. Y'all, you a lunchbox. Okay. So that's what we work on. Who's lunching now? That's the segment that we're doing. But tonight, since Donnie is our first guest of the season, we didn't have anything in the box yet. So what I decided, because you mentioned you were a girl dad. So what we wanted to talk about on a current event topic is these kids going back to school, people going back to work, and how, as you know, somebody working and also having kids, how is that working? And it might be different from LA to DC, but what are your feelings? And we would love for people who are tuned in to tune in and talk about it. We'll put your comments up, but talk to us a little bit about what your feelings are with these kids going back to school, considering we not through with this pandemic yet.
Well, I'm gonna say, man, Lord be with me with my response. That's all I'm gonna say. You know, because people like this, we in a cancer culture type of pandemic going on, and everybody feel they need to cancel everybody. So let's, you know, I don't need to be canceled. I'm a girl dad. Thank you. Anyway, so how I feel about that is this. Life got to go on. Life will go on. If people get back to the program, if they understand exactly what's happening and get their out of there,
do what they need to do so we can move forward.
Thank you. Yep. Because it's a very simple answer to a very simple equation. And I think that the reality of it is that people are so mesmerized by or displaced by that year that we you know, that blindsided everybody, that people are not thinking. They're just ready to get out the house, which I can pull my significant other in there and she'll tell you, like, we talked about this like March. Oh, this is going to be bad. It's going to get bad or even worse before it even gets better, because people not really taking it. Because to me, and I'm not tone deaf and I'm not insensitive, but I'm a very, like I said, I'm a grassroots type of person. I'm a binary thinker, and binary meaning like ones and zeros, not the other binary that, you know, we're not talking about. I see ones and zeros, and when I see this situation, I equated the pandemic or the threat of the pandemic to snow days.
Okay.
What we had in DC. It was like, okay, well, we're gonna have to be snowed in for a while, a couple months. All right. I immediately ran to the store. Got 3 shopping carts. I'm pulling them myself. All right, we got to get it. Now, you know what I'm saying? People looking at me like, I mean, is it that bad? I'm like, okay, whatever. You do you, I'm going to do me. And like I said, 4 score and a year and a half later, you know what I mean? I pulled my people through. You know what I mean? And you know, not myself, obviously, but I'm just saying. With regard to people returning to work, especially the kids, like, here's the thing. I think we need to do more and do better at understanding that what our job as parents is, and that's the guide our children. We're the guides, we're the spirit guides, we're the physical guides, we're the everything guides. You can't just tell a kid and be like, hey, you know, you will brush teeth, and then have set these expectations. I told you should know how to brush your teeth. No, that's not your job. Your job is to make sure that they know, because when you go, they got to be able to do it on their own, and then teach that skill to the next in their line, in the next lineage. And I think a lot of people may not be ready to be parents. Maybe they don't understand exactly what's all involved. They just, you know, I just want to be a parent because I love babies. Okay, you are a bad. You're like just not even whatever. Anyway, you know. So going back to school, I think that it's going to happen anyway. It's time for it to happen, but hopefully people take the time that they need to be able to train the kid, to have the kid to understand exactly the complexities and everything that's involved with what's going on. You know, obviously beyond a certain age, because you know, I got a 6-year-old, and my son, he's ahead of his time, but you know, again, he's just like, I don't care, mask, you know what I mean? But he knows that virus, like I mentioned the word virus to him when I was talking to him today, and he was just like, virus, he ran out of the room, like, I don't do viruses. Like, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? He's like, dude, you've been here before, like, but if you break things down if the parents break things down to the kids, and continuously do that, then I think it will work. I again, the eagerness to return back to a regularly scheduled program. I don't think we on it. To me, if you a Marvel fan and it's like Loki, it's like we're not on the same timeline. We will never return back to the normal before the pandemic, and I don't understand why people keep trying to force it. That's like putting a square peg in a round hole. It's never going to go back the same.
Right?
Thing.
They're not accepting permanent change.
The new normal.
I mean, because what before the pandemic, we were in permanent change. Everything changes. I mean, it's healthy. I think that's where the misconception comes in, that when things change, it's a bad thing. And it's not always a bad thing. That's how you grow from change. If things stayed the same, we wouldn't even be where we were before the pandemic. Thank goodness. I mean, if you think about it that way, it's like, okay, so think way back. What was going on in the world? Did you want it to stay there? I don't think so. So change has to happen. And when it comes to the kids, I don't have the youngest between my husband. My stepson is a senior in high school, but everybody's grown up. My son is in college, but it still affects me because these are our kids, and it feels like that we're so caught lately on standing up for a cause, or you're not going to tell me what to do syndrome. I mean, I think that's what is going on. Nobody wants you to tell them what to do. And so they just fight. You know, if you do something and you told me to do it, even if they think it's the right thing to do, you don't want to do it because you need to do it. I think that's where we're stuck. And I will be honest, and people will, they laughed at me in the beginning of this pandemic because I did not play with COVID. Okay. I was just like, okay, I don't want no parts of this. I really went in a panic mode, to be honest with you, but it was kind of like, I felt like everybody was exposed at that point.
Yeah.
Because I started to view everybody. I was like, people are really selfish, because this was a change that kind of showed everybody that it's not just about you. It's about all of us. And even now with the kids going back to school, it's like, I get it. I get that the kids need to go back into school, but I think we're rushing to do something because it's been so long. It's been so long. We got to get back. And I don't think in a lot of instances we're ready, because you still have people that are fighting for, I don't want to get this and I don't want to get that. I mean, I'm thinking, don't you got to get that straight first?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, if I sent my babies into school and you had decided something different from what I believe, then what?
Yeah.
And we're going to take it a step further with the kids. You know, I heard something about there's some kids that were 12 and under, maybe 10, 11 or whatever, that maybe they get it. They get what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to get
vaccinated.
Yeah, and the parents, if they don't believe that, then what do they do? I mean, I think about all of these, scenarios. So it's not just one way, like my way, do it this way, but what do these kids do who actually feel a different way, but they're not old enough to make that call? So I just think that we need to be very careful, because the world is a very different place. I agree with you that I don't think the norm is going to be a new norm. But I also think that even with part of the topic was people going back to work. Okay, joke but not joke. I mean, I told my supervisor I want to I'll come back after the last person. That's where I want to fit into this scenario. Bring me back after the last person. Okay, so but I just want to make sure everybody wants to be safe. And I guess I haven't understood the rush even with the kids. Let's work out ways to make this work in the meantime while we getting it, instead of let's push them back in. Because if the school ain't set up to do what we're supposed to do, then I don't see how that's a good move. You know what I'm saying?
No, I totally agree with you. And I want to say this too, based off of what you said, and you made a very valid point. In my perception, right? It's life powered by rich people. That's what it sounds like to me. Like especially being in LA, life powered by rich people. Because at the end of the day, these rich people like, I don't know what to do with my child because they don't have to work. They got nannies and stuff like that. So you want to put me in a house? They get cabin fever. You want to put me in a house with my child? It's your child. I don't know what to do. Like, oh, can we just send them somewhere? They're missing life. No, you come up with excuses to not be around your children, to get them out the house because they're missing something. But everything that they have is in front of them. I like me telling my daughter, like, Daddy, I'm bored. What, Google ain't working? Like hello. What I mean?
What does board mean? Because we didn't have all of this stuff. We had to pick out a board game, Candyland, whatever, and make it happen. And I want to touch on something you just said with, I thought about this with people because I said, okay, so some of us are out here fighting the cause, rushing back to do this, and they're telling us don't do this, don't do that. But I said, but think about it. There is a different world between people with money and just regular folks.
Oh, yeah.
So some of the things that you're fighting for, they're like, yay, but at the same time, they're not even, being exposed to the same things you are. They're not even going out to the store. They're not going out to get their nails and stuff done. They have someone in house. So the danger, it's all different. So the risk is different. So even though it seems like that you're fighting with them, sometimes the risk is different for them. So you're not paying attention to, it's kind of like with kids when they want to get all these tattoos on their face and do all these kind of things and they don't have a job yet.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I saw some celebrity do it. Okay, but that they already said that's what they do.
Right.
You ain't even got a job yet. You can't make moves like that because nobody's going to hire you if you do that. And you sitting here looking at some famous person where their life is totally different. So putting something on their face is not going to affect their world. That's what they can do. So we can't do everything everybody else does. So I get it. It's I think who is it? I was some of the comments because Victoria said, Donnie, you are saying the truth. She said Jack rocks. I must have caught the comment too late. Then Michelle said they're using Instacart. I'm using Instacart. No, it's funny.
What's wrong with it?
Well, we talk about change, right? So I'm that person who Instacart. Oh no. I need to go get my stuff. But when there was change, then Lisa makes adjustments. So now I should have stock in Instacart because I have still not been in a grocery store since last March. Okay. I have not. I have been in a couple of other places or whatever, but I was literally following the rules of things and driving folks crazy, even in my own home. But we have to be mindful that everybody is on a different level. Their fear, their whatever, whether it's getting a vaccination, not getting a vaccination, not going out, sitting in restaurants, whatever it is. But we have to be mindful of everybody's level of comfort and be okay with the extra. Because I know last year, 2020, I kind of told my family that I'm going to be extra and I'm going to need y'all to be okay with my extra because I already knew it's not going to change.
Right.
So, I mean, and we got to not be so, serious about it to where we're, it's this team versus this team and then everybody's fighting. When I saw people going and taking off masks and now you got people fussing about why you put masks on kids. I mean, we got to do what we got to do. It's like, it gets confusing sometimes. Like, are we trying to protect these kids or are you just trying to fight for a cause? Because when it comes to being a parent, you do what you got to do to make sure y'all gonna be at family dinner tomorrow.
You ain't said nothing slick to a can of oil. And see, my thing is that's the thing I don't understand. And maybe I'm wrong. And shoot, if you call me a bad parent, I ain't gonna be mad at you. That's cool. That's your perspective. Whatever. You do you. And you do your house that way. But as far as I'm concerned, like people that know me understand I raised my kids with no choice. You ain't got no choice. I'm the parent, you the child. If I tell you you're gonna eat this broccoli, you're gonna eat this broccoli. Okay? Oh, well, my friend don't. I don't. First of all, why you even sassing me? Like, first of all, that you don't even understand that. Second of all, are you eating broccoli because it's better for you? If somebody else don't want to, then cool. They don't want to, but you eat this broccoli.
Right. I'm not their daddy.
They
I
fall
love
off a
that,
bridge.
raising my children with no choice. I love
They when you know the old thing. If you're free to jump off a bridge, that means you too. I'm gonna tell you what.
That's
My friend
right.
can jump off a bridge all he want. Well, he chose to do that. I got things to live for. We good. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
So like that's the whole thing. I don't understand this whole give your parent give the parents give the child. Well, it's a freedom I didn't have, so I'm gonna give it to my child. Well, yeah. Well, if you give the kid a plate full of sugar from 2 years old to the 15-year-old, the 15 years old, they're gonna take the path of least resistance, obviously.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then wonder why I don't understand my jaw falling off. I mean,
Right.
you know what I mean? So again, this I think to sum it all up, I think the pandemic forced America to look at itself in the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the reality of it. And I think that to me, it gave, it's like social media to an extent. It gave people the license to be not here with us. I don't want to say idiots, but they're not here with us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it definitely created dissension in the ranks. So, I mean, like, I think the people that understand exactly what it is, they thrive in this time. They do their COVID pivot. They adjust. They got to do what they need to do. Like Victoria said, we give them way too many options. There's no daggone option at the end of the day. Who do you want to be? And what's the quickest way to get there?
And do you want to be alive? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like even when people say, well, we've gotten through the first part of it and now, well, some people feel like your chances for not dying or whatever. I don't even want to be, I said, look, y'all, call me paranoid. I don't even want to be sick. Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, this experience with our kids, with going back to work and stuff taught us, or should have taught us many things. But we still on that journey. But patience is one of those things that was on that list. And some people got a lot of work to do because I was trying to figure out what was the big deal. I'm not necessarily a homebody, but I enjoy time at home. And I think it gave us a moment to start to enjoy our families again, to start getting in touch with who you are. And my mother and I had conversations. I said, well, I think a whole lot of people figured out that they don't like themselves too much because now they're stuck in the house with them. And some people are like, what? You leave me alone with myself?
All bad.
I can't hang. But I mean, that's a powerful message right there. So it's like, okay, so take this time to like you, because when you stuck in the house with yourself, you better like you, or you got some work to do. So I wanted to talk about that, especially you mentioning that you were a girl dad, mm-hmm. and that we're getting ready to move into a whole nother part of this journey. And it continues. I think Shariba had put, LOL, you're going to be hungry if you don't eat what's going to be on your plate. Yeah, because we ain't had no menu. So, you don't like that? Okay. And I think Michelle said her cousin was killing it in Instacart. I said, yeah, he done probably delivered to me a few times because, I mean, we would need some paper towels. You want me to order? You want? Like, no, we can go. I was like, nah, I'm good. I will tell you this. I'll even tip more because it takes. Hey, you stepping out and doing something that really puts yourself at risk. So I recognize that. I recognize that everything that has you out there, you putting yourself at risk. So Thank you. Let's appreciate those people who are willing to do that or don't have a choice. Yeah. And stay in my lane. My lane happens to be at home. I'm going to be good with that. So, and don't y'all know they tease me so bad because I was like, I am not playing. I do not want any play dates for COVID. Not in the least. Okay. Don't sign me up. I don't want to be. I don't want to be in the number. I do not want to be in the number. But no, that was a great conversation. So what I wanted to go into now is another new segment of Lunchin with Lisa. I'm so excited to be launching all this with you. Is that we decided that every show we're going to highlight a project. Okay. A project or a product or an event that's going on. Okay. So I have another surprise. So this week, for the very first show back with Lunchin with Lisa, And I wanted to let people know, in addition to this, that every week we'll do this. So if you have something that you want, kind of a free advertisement, free shout out, if you want to send me something and, I share it on the show, I won't be able to get to everybody's things, but if it's something you really feel strong about, you want me to share, please feel free to send me a copy, or, share it with me, email me, and maybe we can show it on the show. So for tonight, our very first product highlight is, drum roll please, my coupon playbook is my very first product. And for those who don't know, my partner behind the scenes, Sharifa Smith, this is her very first journal. And you all need to check this out. She is a coupon queen. She knows how to coupon like no other.
You better coupon out there.
Yeah, she has a book that we're going to be working on through my publishing company. But right now she has a journal that she did herself. It's out there. It's called My Coupon Playbook. Build the breakdown that won't let you down. And inside, if you can grab your coupon, she gives you some the week that you're couponing, where you can make your notes, all kind of things. This is awesome. She also has her businesses called Saving My Pockets. So Sharifa is trying to help people to keep their money in their pockets. So y'all go out there and get her book. So I know I see her saying, oh my God, thank you. I know she was not expecting this. So when she asked me about what product we're highlighting, I was kind of like, none of your business. I ain't tell that to her, but I was thinking, I can't tell you. I just can't tell you. But this was my special little surprise for Sharifa. So congratulations on your new book. It came out not too long ago.
Congratulations.
So this just goes to show you too that COVID ain't stopped nothing. Okay.
That COVID pivot is real.
Yes, it's real. So congratulations. Y'all go out there on Amazon and get her book. So that was my little surprise.
I think give me a coupon too.
Yeah. So and actually we talked about doing it for music too. So we might have to hook up with you, Donnie, and see how we kind of roll that out. But every now and if you have something new you want to put out there,
we could collab. We good.
Yeah. So that was our highlight. So with that being said, I thank you so much, Donnie, for coming on to the very first show and kicking us off for season 2. I'm excited about this season. I'm happy to be back. Hopefully we're going to work smarter so I don't wear my team out, but they are the best. So I'm looking forward to all those fun things. You never know what I'm coming up with for, themes and everything else. So before we leave, I wanted to, first of all, remind everybody that if you want me to, highlight your product, feel free to contact me and hopefully we can get it out. Everything won't be appropriate for our, audience, but if we can, we will definitely help to support that way. Now, I want you to let everybody know where they can find you, contact you, get in touch with you over there in LA. Tell us how to find Donnie Got the Beats.
Man, you can Google me. That's a start. Now, really, all jokes aside, thank you, Sharifa, man. Listen, you better read the whole little 9 down there that she got. She on point. Lunchin with Lisa is fantastic. First of all,
thank you.
Donnie B got the beats, aka or DB got the beats. Got the DA. I put the ebonics on them. That's how you find me. You can find the Beat at Beat TV LA on all social media. You can find 2 Flu West at 2 Flu West. No ebonics there on all social media platforms. We on IMDb. You can find me on IMDb at D Christopher Communications. Man, I'm kind of all over the place, and some people will say that's wrong, but I mean I got to diversify my portfolio.
Hey, yes, it's all right and all good.
Amen to that. But find me at Lunchin with Lisa and have her people call my people. So we get her eating too, and then we eat. We all got to open this thing up. Y'all got to understand how to mass communicate over here, man. I'm trying to get what she got going on because this is live.
That's right. Look, and that's why I switched it up, because I was like, when I went on yours, I was like, this is the bomb. I like the way you roll it out. So, and that's what we're supposed to do, support each other. So I want to
Yes.
remind everybody too that lunchinwithlisa.com, you can actually, it's housed on my magazine site, dovestylemagazine.org. You can actually catch all the shows on our Facebook page. You can also catch all the shows on my YouTube channel, Lisa Dove Washington. So there's several places that you can catch the show. So my ask to everyone is to go out there and like the Facebook page, Luncheon with Lisa. Go out there and subscribe to the Lisa Dove Washington YouTube channel. And please continue to tune in on Thursdays. There's always some new fun. And if you all know from last year, there's some months that we go really hard, like birthday months and Christmas and all kinds of stuff. So we have some fun here.
Right.
I wanted to ask one last thing before we say goodbye. Do you have
Sure.
an inspirational thought that you wanted to share with our guests before we say goodbye?
Man, you put me on the spot with that. Okay. The thing, the code that I live by is nobody knows who you are unless everybody cares who you are. Take that under consideration when you're making your next moves. You know what I'm saying? In order for everybody to care who you are, you got to put it out in the universe. You got to work at it. You got to get after it, man. People told me that I had people to tell me that I'd never be anything in the music business. I had people that told me that, like my own team, people that I'm employing, that'd be like, yo, we don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just a music producer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
You shouldn't be rapping. You shouldn't be singing or whatever. You can't stop art, man. Art is like a fire hose, man. Water erodes
That's right.
rock. So at the end of the day, you just got to do what you got to do. So like I said, nobody knows who you are unless everybody cares who you are. And don't let nothing stop you. If you feel it, man, be art, be beautiful. It's just like Bruce Lee say, be like water. You know what I mean? So
I love it. I love it.
That's all I got to say about that.
That's powerful. And I will piggyback on that and say my inspirational thought to everybody. And I think I've posted this on my pages before, but be you, because nobody can do it better.
Amen.
So, I mean,
That's
that's kind of it in a nutshell. And what I wanted to remind you is next week on Luncheon with Lisa, we're going to have the producer and co-producer. She's a young co-producer, teenager. She's Maya Pinson, and Tree Waters. Pastor Tree Waters is actually a producer of Old School Rollers that I am in. So we're going to show some clips from the movie. And I'm going to give away some tickets because the release is on August 28th. So y'all tune in next week. And until then, we will see you every Thursday, 7 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much, Donnie. And we will see you next time. Welcome back.